Yo, welcome in, man. Today is February the 26th. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, top of the morning. I am just going through some things real quick, trying to get some things in line for the show. But yeah, let's jump into it, man. Big slate for today. I have not made a single bet. Just kind of fell behind yesterday, like trying to get ahead to some of the numbers. A couple games weren't available yet. Teams playing on second leg of back-to-backs. Injury report all over the place. It's difficult betting NBA right now. I will say that. But with that said, it was a really good night last night. I didn't even update the recap page just because I did get busy. I fell asleep early last night as well. Probably needed the rest just because I'm still trying to get over the flu. But it was a good night yesterday, man. Yesterday I had two plays on the show. They were both winners. Ja Morant up and over his points prop was an easy winner. And the Orlando and Cleveland under 225.5 ticket was another easy winner with Orlando scoring just 84 points last night. I added two more plays after that, which was Memphis minus the 7.5. That was the only loser on the show yesterday. And then Dallas team total under 111.5. Another easy winner. They didn't even get to 100 points last night against my Lakers. So 3-in-1 day yesterday. I need to keep building on it. It's been very profitable recently, and that's all we'll say about that. Try to find some more winners for today. It's a big slate. I don't love it a lot though, if I'm being honest. And I do still got a little bit of work to do. So there will still be plays, kind of given throughout the show. But I don't, not a lot that I'm loving. So I do have a recap of a short list that I'm looking towards. But like I said, not anything that I'm absolutely loving. Excuse me. So yeah, we'll go through a couple comments and then we'll get into it for today. Really feel like I got a lot of work to do on today's card. I'm always transparent with you guys. What up, Jose? Appreciate you for tapping in. And it says good morning, Chris, and literally nobody else. Just kidding. Good morning, y'all. Appreciate that. It says down 8 units in February. Looking like this will be my first losing month since I started betting. That just means you'll have a great March. You'll have a great March for sure. Good morning to my guy Mark. What up, GLB? What up, LJ? Top of the morning to my guy Justin. It's Torrey Craig's new Porzingis. I fell asleep, but remember that was on the short list yesterday too, man. I wish I had pulled the trigger. I kind of wanted to see what happened with Jakob Poeltl. Jakob Poeltl got ruled out. I didn't see the news in time, and Toronto scored 101 points last night. So the Toronto team total under 107.5 was on the short list. I didn't bet it, but it was another winner as well. What up, Hot TV Grits? Appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning, Dabs, Dr. 3. Good morning to you. What up, Jason, Brian, She. Good morning, Tasha, Savant. Good morning, Nayeli. Says I swept the car last night. Shout out to Nayeli, man. Shout out to Nayeli. And then she says March is going to be phenomenal. I agree with that. Let's jump into it for today, man. William says, yo, good morning, Chris. Let's get to the bag. I'm broke as hell, so please help a brother out. This ain't no guaranteed money over here, William. Just FYI, man. I just want to make sure I say that. Nothing guaranteed about sports betting, but things have been going well. What up, Reem? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. Let's jump into it for today. So we'll start off with jaXon, as we always do. And I gotta matter of fact, let me see if I can find it real quick. I gotta share some updates about jaXon. jaXon is new and improved. There's actually a jaXon 2.0 that just hit the market for people who haven't quite, you kind of on the fence about jaXon. jaXon just keeps giving out winners, but they're, still always trying to improve the product. So yesterday, jaXon it was actually on the opposite side of one of the bets I was thinking about making. Glad I stayed on the sideline. I liked Orlando plus the points last night. They got smoked, lost the game by 40 last night at home against Cleveland with no Darius Garland. And jaXon said to take Cleveland yesterday, but I was hesitant to do so. So I did not. Real quick, so the update, I just want to make sure I get this right real quick. Was talking to my rep yesterday. So there's a lower price tier that's only $9.99. So if new users want to sign up, you can sign up for $10. and they just improved the product. Like it's a lot quicker. There's prompts there that you can type in if you can't think of what you want to ask it yourself. And the coolest thing about the update is that everyone gets 5 free prompts per month now. So even if you don't want to sign up, you still can go get 5 free prompts per month by checking out jaXon. The referral code is at the bottom. That's all I'll say about that. But the real ones, no. So let's jump into it for today. Simple prompt again, best ATS NBA bet for today. I want to see what jaXon got for me. jaXon likes Sacramento against the Utah Jazz, and here's why. Sacramento, 3-2 ATS last 5. Kings have been competitive, 29-18, 29-28 against the spread. Jazz are struggling, just 14-43 record. They're 1-4 ATS in their last 5. Let's see. Jazz 1-4 ATS last 5. Dismal overall record. We talked about that. The Kings have a balanced roster and have been able to generate offense consistently. Their ability to exploit mismatches and maintain a competitive edge make them a strong pick to cover the spread. The Jazz rank poorly in defensive metrics, which could also allow the Kings to capitalize offensively and keep the game to win this game by margin. So I don't know if I could ever lay this many points with the Kings, but jaXon likes the Kings today to be able to go into Utah and get a 10-point win. The line is at 9 right now. It's 9.5 on a couple books. So that's what jaXon likes for today. I didn't even need to look into that game, if I'm being honest. Nothing attracts me about that game really at all. And I think half of the battle, in my opinion, right now is trying to find the games that you can kind of get a sense of who cares and who doesn't care. So I'll just leave it at that. But jaXon likes Sacramento minus the 9 points today. Let's jump into a couple of the games that I wanted to talk about. I'm not going through every one of them yet again till I get a little bit more strength, and honestly, maybe not even ever, because some of these games don't even matter. And that's just my opinion. Some of the games don't matter at all. So first one we got up is the Portland Trailblazers and the Washington Wizards, and this one may not matter either. But I just kind of looking through this game, and I kind of feel like, first of all, I want to take the points with the Wizards, and that already kind of makes my head hurt that I want to take points with the Wizards. But they've been profitable recently, man. I kind of want to make a little bit of Wizards money, I guess. So let's jump into the injury report first. On the Portland side of things, they have already ruled out a couple guys. So they will be without Ayton and without Robert Williams. Everybody else is primarily going to be there. So you got Klingon at center, Jeremy Grant, Denny Avdia, Kamara, Anthony Simons. And then on the Washington Wizards side of things, Sarr is listed as game time decision, but there will be no Brogdon. The additions have looked pretty good. Chris Middleton, I saw Marcus Smart, out there making some plays on the defensive end as well. The Wizards have lost so many games now that they probably do feel like they can win a few, and they just beat the Brooklyn Nets, of course. They still struggle with turning the ball over. They actually turned the ball over more than any other team last 5 games. That's really scary because Portland defensively has been pretty solid as well. But Washington has been covering it. I think that's why this number, you can't label so many points on the road with Portland can't be labeled so many points on the road, but Washington's been covering it 8-2 against the number in their last 10 games. Defensively, they're 13th rated, which is I don't think I remember a time this year where Washington defense has actually been top half of the league. No travel. I think second or third straight home game. The games have been going under as well. Like I said, defensively, they've been playing a little bit better recently. And I just kind of look their way. Kind of want to look their way. Not sure if I'll end up getting there. The other thing I wanted to talk about, we'll go over to Outlier really quickly. It's a player prop, and that is not Tyrese Maxey, but let me go to the guy. So Outlier, 7-day free trial, link in the description. If you are new to the software that I'm using and you're interested in checking it out, just use that link. You can sign up, and if you like it, keep it. If you don't, cool, get rid of it. But Denny is who I want to look at here. So Denny, of course, was drafted by the Wizards. I want to say he was drafted by the Wizards and played a couple seasons in Washington. I kind of feel like Denny is in a really good spot today. Excuse me. So this is Denny recently. See his points, rebounds, and assist prop listed at 20. What is it, 29 and a half? I thought I saw 28 and a half, but maybe it was 29 and a half. Full disclosure, I do not have a bet on this as of yet, but this is the way I was looking to bet it. Denny is like an all-in-one type player. Go out there, rebound the basketball. His points listed at 17 and a half. His assists listed at 4.5, and then his rebounds up to 6.5 as well. He's coming off a 14 rebound game after he had stayed under in, I think it was 7 straight games. But the Wizards also not a great rebounding team. And Sarr is on the injury report. If he doesn't play, you expect Rashad Holmes to be out there. So looking at Denny, his points, rebounds, and assists, I think the rebounds will be there, especially without Robert Williams and without Aiden. So I think he'll have to go down there and get some boards. And like I said, he's coming off a 14 board game. As far as the points go, 17 and a half is available in a couple books. He's coming off a game where he had 18 against the Utah Jazz. The Wizards play a lot faster. He also gets about 20%. So a quarter of his points, a fifth of his points in transition. We know that the Wizards are one of the worst transition defenses in the NBA. He gets another 22% off spot up. The Wizards are also bottom half of the league in spot up. And then he gets about 20% of his points from the free throw line as well. The Wizards fouled the second highest rate in the NBA. So I do think that he should be able to score in this game. I like him at 17.5 points, but like I said, I kind of want to combine it all, the rebounds and the assists as well, because I do think he'll have to go down on the boards and grab some of those as well. So rebounds plus points is 25.5, and that's something I considered. But I think he can get 5 assists as well, just because of his playmaking ability. So I lean Denny Avdia. Didn't play it yet. It's on the short list. Not sure if I'll end up getting there. But I lean Denny Avdia up and over his points, rebounds, and assists at 28.5 in this game, thinking that he can have a big game here. Also, like I said, I kind of want to take the points with the Wizards, but we'll see if I end up getting there doing that. All right, so those are my thoughts on this game. Like I said, I still feel like I got a little bit more work to do. Jason says, morning, Chris, Derek White points for free. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. I'm glad you made some money off of it. I had 4 bets in that game that I really, really liked. I didn't play any of them, and I think all of them won. So, yeah, I also didn't know Porzingis was going to get ruled out at the last second either. So, but yeah, we always talk about no Drew Holiday, take Derek White pretty much every time. Dude is on fire right now too. So, he's probably in another good matchup today, but you got to wait for the injury report for Boston to see what Joe Mazzulla is going to do with his guys, because Detroit has been really good recently, but if they struggle with anything, it's their ability to defend the three-point line. They're a really good team as far as defending the paint. They don't give up a lot of points in the paint. Let's see, what are we saying about this one? What up, Eric? Appreciate you for tapping this. It's time to get this bread. William says, how can you not like Sacramento? Look what they did to Charlotte. You see what the Warriors did to them? Bro, just because Sacramento win a game, I don't mean I'm going to like them. Like, I don't know how long you've been betting, William. It's a little bit more than that, man. A little bit more than that, my brother. Let's see. Justin played the Wizards plus 195 on the money line. He says, just me chasing the money, not wanting to cap the game. Yeah, first quarter makes a lot of sense if you do like them, Brian. First quarter makes a lot of sense. They covered their last game against the Brooklyn Nets. They covered the game before that as well in the first quarter. I forgot who they were playing against, but they covered that game as well. So yeah, the Wizards early could not talk you off. Mark says Washington early as well. LG says Portland 12-3 ATS versus the East. Yeah, the turnovers is what scares me about taking the points with the Wizards. But first half makes sense. What up, PZ? Natalie says she likes the Blazers 1-10 win margin. See that? Solo says, he says, good morning, gang. He likes the Wiz plus 6. What up, Adam? Says Memphis killed me and the Lakers. Magic laid an egg. I like the Wizards, but I can't hit a barn lately. Yeah, I think the Wizards are the right side. Let's move over to the next one. We got the Celtics and the Pistons. if you know anything about the way I bet, I typically don't even talk about games without knowing about the injury report because I hate speculating. I feel like it's a waste of my time. And for this game, we do have to speculate just a tad bit. So I won't talk about this game long, but we'll go through the injury report that or the manipulation report, as my guy Mark in the comment section talks about it as. I'm not sure what happens here. Like Fontecchio's on the report for Detroit. He is questionable. Porzingis got ruled out yesterday with an illness. Who knows if he's going to play? Like literally last second. And Boston didn't cover last night. They ended up winning the game by 10, but they ended up being 11-point favorites. And then Drew Holiday, of course, missed the game. I'm expecting him to play. Al Horford missed the game. I'm expecting him to be out to come back today. And then Lou Kornet missed the game for personal reasons. So I'm not sure if that's a baby being born or something going on in his family, but hopefully all is well with Lou Kornet. And we'll see if he ends up playing today. So it's a lot of speculating in this game. I guess the thing that kind of jumps out to me when I look at these two teams is how well both teams has been playing defensively. The total is moving up. It opened 225 is what I wrote down. I see 224.5 as well, but it's up to 226 now. Kind of want to take a under here, man. I feel like so this is just the way that I'm looking at the game. I think about the Detroit Pistons, and they've been on this like marvelous run. I talked about, like wanting to fade them against the Clippers. I couldn't do it without Kawhi and Norm Powell in that last game. One of the reasons why I wanted to fade them was because they were on the second leg of a taxing back-to-back game that was also road home. But then also the strength of schedule had been so easy. They had played, I think, like the second easiest strength of schedule. Even after beating the Clippers, they still are 28th in strength of schedule over the last 5 games. So some of these offensive metrics, now I don't want to sound like a hater, but some of these offensive metrics you got to take with a grain of salt. They are the 3rd best offense, the 4th best defense, 3rd best differential, efficiency differential team, and they're playing at the fastest pace. How they like to score the basketball. They like to get out in transition, run. I don't think that that's going to be available against Boston. Boston is not one of these cupcake defenses. Boston has looked really good. Going back before the All-Star break, they smoked the San Antonio Spurs. They're the 7th best offensive rated team, 3rd best defensive rated team, 4th in the efficiency differential, and they play super slow, 28th in pace. That game went under last night. The Knicks game went under on Sunday. I know it's the second leg of a back-to-back, but it's a short travel from Toronto to Denver. I kind of feel like it's an under game. If I can get Porzingis in there, maybe some Luke Kornet, Al Horford should return. I think that Boston can slow down Detroit's offense just because I know Detroit wants to get out and run. Boston also defending the 3-point line really well. And Detroit, even though some of those numbers are, in my opinion, kind of manipulated because they've been against easier competition, I still kind of think Detroit's defense is pretty good. Like they can play some defense. So will they be able to slow down Boston? Boston being on the second leg of a back-to-back. Boston is 5-3 straight up, 4-4 against the number playing unrested. They are +9 in point differential. And I think that they will be able to slow them down. When I was looking into it a little bit deeper this morning, Boston is what was it? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Boston is an under team on the road. I'm sorry, Boston is an under team without rest is what I'm trying to say. I just want to give you out the exact number. So Celtics, rest equals 0. They are they've gone under in 4 of their last 5 games on the road, and they're only averaging 221 points are the Celtics on the road when they're unrested. And if they're on the road and if they're on the road and on the second leg of a back-to-back, they're 3-1 to the under as well. Those games are averaging 221 points. So I do expect this pace to slow up. Do expect Boston to play some defense. I think Detroit can slow down Boston as well. They've been they had a defensive rating of 105 last 5 games. So I like under here, probably more than anything else. But I kind of want to see what happens with the injury report also. So those are my quick thoughts on this game. Not sure how quick that was, but Boston and Detroit under 226 is the play that I would want to make if I'm playing this game. Let's see if we have thoughts on this one at all, and we'll move over to another one. What up, Cup of Joe? Adam says Pistons came back down to earth today. Pistons come back down to earth today, but it's hard to back Boston here. Hard to back Boston, in my opinion, just because of the injury report. I like Boston. I kind of want to, I kind of feel like if you go, Boston has played Detroit like 5 million times over the last handful of years. And none of those games were they laying like this few of points. Like Boston typically is laying double digits. And I get it, Detroit's been good, but it kind of feels like the market has caught up to that. I think Boston can win this game by 2 possessions. I really, really do. If I'm playing it, that's the way that I kind of want to as well. I know that they're on the second leg of a back-to-back. Boston has beaten this team 10 straight times. They've covered 7 of the 10 spreads. Detroit did cover a plus 12, but they lost by 10 earlier this season. Detroit actually covered a plus 12.5, lost by 6 as well. And then most recently, Boston beat them by 24 in Boston on December the 12th. So yeah, they played 2 overs, 1 under, and the totals are 6-3-1 to the over, I guess, last 10 as well. So I'll just say that. No KP, Horford, or Holiday tonight. I'm leaning Pistons. So Habits break. I don't know where you got the information from, but Horford and Holiday probably rest on the first leg of a back-to-back. They probably going to return. Not sure about KP, though. Nally likes the Celtics as well. Tatum rebounds and assists again for Cup of Joe. He has been absolutely killing it. Tatum's been, we talked about the over 13.5 rebounds and assists yesterday. Tatum had that at halftime yesterday. He finished with 11 assists and 6 rebounds yesterday to go along with 19 points. He only shot 3 for 12 from the three-point line, but he cashed it easily. 17 rebounds and assists yesterday. Brian says Celtics, can you take an under if Detroit can't guard the three-point line? The three-point defense has been better, though. That's the thing. Right. And I also think, this is third game in 4 nights for the Celtics as well. So travel, maybe those shots aren't falling as well. Yesterday, they weren't really falling. Boston won the game by 10, but they played really good defense. They only shot 29% last night, Brian, 15 for 51 from the three-point line. So I kind of feel like that. Taylor says no line out for Jaylen Brown yet, but if Porzingis is out, he likes his points per 36 minutes on the floor with Tatum, White, and Porzingis. He averages 14, almost 15 field goal attempts per 36. And with Porzingis off the floor, it jumps up to almost 20 field goal attempts per game. So I could see that as well. Tasha says she can't bet against Boston. Sounds like a suicide mission, even though they didn't cover yesterday, but that was with the Porzingis news. If Porzingis plays, I'm pretty sure they cover it. TC Best says once we get all the injury news, he'll take the points with the Pistons. Okay. Kind of want to be on the other side, but we'll see. We shall see. Cade over his points, rebounds, and assists for Sheed. That makes a lot of sense. Jabari likes Cade as well. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. What up, Mitchell? Appreciate you for tapping in. All right, let's move over to the 76ers and the Knicks. Be here for just a second. Just because of the injury report, man, it's another game that's really hard for me to cap because I'm not sure if Cat's going to play. He's listed as questionable here. The Knicks probably could win this game without Cat. OG is supposed to play. He's listed as probable. On the Philly side, Embiid has been ruled out. No Eric Gordon. Kyle Lowry is out. Yabusele is out. I didn't see Yabusele being out, but it says that he's out. Yeah, he's been ruled out with an eye injury, and you're really just waiting on the Cat news. This is a 10-point spread, 9.5, depending on where you're shopping. Well, actually, all the 9.5s are gone now. It's up to 10, and we got a Knicks team that's been struggling, but we got a Philly team that's absolutely been struggling. And I don't see any real life over there in Philly right now. This is like, RIP to Mufasa, man. But this is like Mufasa when Simba walked up on him and was like, Dad, get up. That's how I feel about the Knicks right now. That's how I feel about the 76ers right now. The Knicks, I think, will get it together. I think the Knicks will get it together. They're coming off a couple shellackings, of course, but strength of schedule-wise, they played a really difficult strength of schedule. They're 4th over their last 5 games. Defensively, they're the 3rd worst defense. But Philly, nothing really to like for Philly at all. They are 5th they're the 5th worst offense over the last 5 games, fifth worst defense over the last 5 games, second worst in efficiency differential. They're losing by getting outscored by about 12.1 points per 100 possessions over the last 5 games, and they're playing super slow, 26th in pace over the last 5 games as well. I kind of feel like if Cat gets ruled in, they should be able to do whatever it is that they want. I do expect, maybe a bounce back game from somebody like Tyrese Maxey, but man, it's like when you lose to the Bulls by 30 at home, it's kind of hard to think that you're going to do anything after that. So I like the Knicks here. Didn't bet them. I do think that they should be able to bounce back here and take care of this Philly team. Paul George, we'll go back to Outlier. I was looking into Paul George. Quentin Grimes is also on the injury report, but I think he's more probable, and you need him if you want any kind of any kind of fight for this Philly team. So Paul George popped up. He's been terrible recently, and I don't like the matchup for Paul George here either. He is so here's his under points, rebounds, and assists. You can see that he stayed under in every single game of his last 10, except one against Cleveland where he had 38 points, rebounds, and assists. But 24.5 is the number right now. You can see that they opened at 25.5. Got bet down to 24.5, back up to 25.5, back down to 25.5 as of about 12 minutes ago. So when I was looking into this earlier, Paul George, like, he has gone up and over his points prop in 2 of his last 3 games. And if you take, Joel Embiid off the floor, like maybe you see a little bit of it, but I don't know. Nothing about Philly makes me want to bet on them right now. They kind of go on the list with the Suns, with the Bulls, even though the Bulls have been covering the last couple. I just don't want anything to do with the Bulls either. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Paul George, as far as his matchup here, he scores about a fifth of his points, 20% of his points in isolation. The Knicks are the best ISO team, best ISO defense in the NBA. He does get another 20% of his points as the pick and roll ball handler, which the Knicks really struggle at. And then the other huge percent of his points come against the spot up. 16% is against the spot up, and the Knicks are top 5 defensively against that shot zone. So here, like, these are the point. That's just the points specifically at 16.5. But then when you start thinking about assists, Paul George has only hit the over on 3.5 assists in 2 of his last 10 games. So I don't want to take the over. I don't want to take the over on his assists and rebounds. He almost like he allergic to rebounding the basketball as well. His rebound prop listed at 4.5. He's only hit the over in 3 of his last 7 games as well. So I'm not sure if you combine all of them or if one makes more sense than the other. I think if Cat is in there, of course, the Knicks are a lot better rebounding team. So I would look towards Paul George to go under his rebounds. If Karl-Anthony Towns plays, without him, maybe Paul George grabs another rebound, but we'll see how the dust settles as far as the injury report. What I do like here is that the primary defenders for Paul George will be, guys like Mikal Bridges and guys like OG Anunoby. And I like the Knicks coming off a couple, really bad losses in a row. I think that they get right in the garden today, and I think that's going to start on the defensive end. So, yeah, that's the way that I would be looking, is Paul George under his points, rebounds, and assists, or potentially towards the Knicks team total up and over. Knicks against the spread. Don't really have a play yet, but I know I'm not looking towards the Philadelphia 76ers in any capacity. These teams where you're trying to catch the falling knife, I'm heavily on the sideline. My hands are on my chest. I'm not catching anything. Put my hands in my pocket, not trying to catch it at all. Let's see. Let's go back to Let's go back to our main screen, and then we'll go through a couple comments and talk about this game. Let's see. I think the Knicks are 1-9, I think, against the spread in the last 10 games when I was looking at it. That goes back to before the All-Star break. The Knicks are just, not the Knicks, the Philadelphia 76ers are god-awful right now, man. Yeah, they 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 games. They failed to cover 9 straight games, and they're just getting absolutely mollywopped. I also considered their team total under, but I can't play that without Karl-Anthony Towns being there. So I think the team total is like 110.5. I'm not sure how they get there. They haven't scored 111 points since they played against Detroit back on February the 7th. And before that, it had been against Dallas where they scored 118. So those were things other ways that I was kind of just some notes that I was thinking about when I thought about this game. Jason says Philly's not a real NBA team. Knicks game. Drop a dime says Knicks team total over. Gotta have Cat. I agree with that. Paul George over 16.5. Tasha says she'll catch the falling knife with Paul George. Well, I guess it's not too much of a falling knife, but if you're betting on Paul George, I feel like it's a falling knife. But I hope you cash, Tasha, because I'm looking the opposite way on this, probably everything all together. Got there was a dad, get up. Dad, wake up, Dad. It's terrible, man. I hate that's my favorite movie of all time, Lion King is, but that scene was sad, man. It make you want to shed a tear. That's how it goes though. Scar wanted to be the king. Nally says Knicks -9, Paul George over 15 points, only because he has been playing better and the line is low. I think that's the time to fade him now. I wouldn't take him. Michael says that comparison makes me sad. It's true, but Simba's dad, yeah, it was Simba's dad, man. Simba's dad. What up, Brian says he says he bet Pistons +4, Wizards +6. I like one of those. I don't know about the other one. Justin says just let me stop betting 76ers games. Smart guy, Justin. Various is off subject. Chris, how about them Lakers? OKC, KFC, UFC, Lakers in 5. I saw Shannon Sharp say that. Oh man, Lakers look good, man. They look really good. Y'all know me, man. I just be on the sideline watching the games. I don't really be playing too many of them, but yeah, it looks real good. It's good to be a Lakers fan right now, man. It's real good to be a Lakers fan. I like it. I like the Lakers for sure. LC's World says Tyrese averaging 14.5 last 2 games at the Garden, so maybe an under here. Marquis says just 1-800 gambling if you're taking the 76ers prime. Oh man, I don't think that's too bad, Tyler. I don't think that's bad at all. Drop a dime says you said Paul George has been terrible recently. Let's try all year. Yeah, I mean, so there's a time in there, Drop a dimes, where Paul George are actually playing a little bit better. It was without Embiid too, so that also has like I went back and looked at the numbers with Embiid, and his numbers are a little bit better without Embiid on the floor. They just have no kind of camaraderie together. There's no chemistry with all those guys on the floor together. Let's see what else. Mark says I looked at this for a while and decided to pass. Me too, Mark. Me too. Paul George stinks on the road. He might be on the floor. Peter says I'm on the 76ers and Suns diet remainder of the season. Yeah, they look terrible, man. All right, so I think it might be a couple more games I wanted to talk about. But I mean, it's not a lot I like today, man. It's a lot of games, not a lot that I like though. Let's go through Atlanta and Miami real quick. So excuse me. This total is actually opened 229.5 and it's up to 230. 230, it looks like it's consensus right now. So let's jump into this one. We'll go injury report first. We got the Atlanta Hawks side of things. They are going to be without Larry Nance. Krejci is out, I think is how you pronounce his name. And Trae Young is game time decision. On the Miami Heat side of things, and this is one of the reasons why I want to actually talk about it. Khalil Ware is game time decision. Wiggins is also game time decision. I think he's more probable. Bam is actually listed as questionable. That's a big hiccup and red flag for me. I'm not laying points for Miami most of the time ever anyway, but especially without Bam. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is that Jovic is out. And that, I don't think people understand the impact of like this offense without Jovic. So real quick, I'm going over to Moneyballer. Shout out to Moneyballer. Shout out to my guy RC. So Moneyballer, I want to look into this game Moneyballer. So immediately what I wrote in my notes was I want to take under here. That's what I want to play on. 230 is a lot of points for a Heat's game. It's not that many points for the Hawks, but Remember, these two teams just played against each other. The play that I liked was a winner. It was Trae Young under on his points prop. I think he finished with like 11 points and they still won the game. So that was an easy winner. I do think that the Heat match up really well with being able to slow down a team like the Hawks that like to get out and run in transition. The Heat offense scored 84 points in that game, and this is not a good Hawks defense. Hawks defense is middle of the pack. But the reason why I like the under is because the Heat already on a great offense. In my notes, I wrote that they are 29th in pace over the last 5 games, so no team playing slower, probably outside of the Orlando Magic. They're 21st in offensive rating. And Jovic is a guy that really helps this offense a lot. I don't know how many points he averaged, probably about 9 or 10. But I know that he dishes the rock. And when you take away, Jimmy Butler, who's not been there for quite a while now, you need all the offense you can get. This is not a good offensive team. So potentially no Bam playing. Jovic being out, I think that hurts the offense a lot. And look at some of the situational stuff here. So we got 3rd game in 4 nights for the Hawks, coming off a win. For the Heat, you got 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th game in 6 nights. I think this is their 1st game back home as well. All those games have been played on the road. If we just start looking at, let's just look at some of the last 10 game stuff. I can guarantee you we're gonna find some stuff to back this Heat under here. So we look at offensive rating. Look at this, god awful. 2nd worst offense over the last 5 games. The Heat are averaging 107.8 points per 100 possessions over their last 10 games. This is not a team you want to be taking it over with. The Hawks are 10th in offensive efficiency, but who says that they need to play great offense? Especially with the Heat, I do expect them to dictate pace like they did in the last game. They're the second slowest paced team. I just kind of told y'all that already. Offense to turnover ratio, 2nd worst in the NBA. So I'm not really worried about the Hawks' pace being 2nd and their offense being 10th. I just think that the Heat are still going to struggle to score the basketball. They scored 84 points in that last game. And I think without Jovic being there, we're going to see more of the same. I think it's going to be played slow. I like the under in this game. And I don't even really need to go through too many other things, honestly. I know that the Heat are a solid defensive team. You can see here, 12th defensively. And that's what I'm banking on. No offense and some defense. So that's what I'm thinking, how the game's going to go. If we look at some over-under stuff here, you can see that the Heat 6-4 to the under. Hawks are 7-3 to the over. But like I said, I think this is more about the Heat and not about the Hawks. So that's what I'm liking. I'm liking under here. Just the way my brain works, the way I kind of calibrate this game is, I think it's going to be an under game. Also, I'm not laying points with the Heat at all. This is another time I would be taking the points with the Hawks. They just beat this team. The total open lower. Typically, that means the game goes lower than the first one. So that's my thought process on this game. Not a lot of other games that I know I'm like super early as far as like I don't know why I was saying I was super early, but I know that I'm super I know I didn't go through a whole bunch of games. There's not a lot of games that I really enjoyed for today or that I've had a chance to break down quite yet. So that's how I'm thinking about this one. Let me see what you guys are thinking here. Let's see. So we got agree with this Cup of Joe. He did have a solid moment. Suns did cover yesterday, Scott. He says, let's not forget. I think we all said that they did cover. That was the only bet that I lost yesterday. Of course, the Suns want to cover. They want to shoot 45% when I bet against them, but they can't cover against the Bulls or against the Spurs, who can't find a win since beating them. But I digress, man. Justin says he'll play Tyler Hero, 8 assists, put it in his back pocket. Couldn't talk you off of that. Dougie Bones says under on the total and under on trade points again. I don't know if I like Trey to keep going under, but we did have a really good look on Trey. I should have pulled the trigger, and I did not. Hopefully people took it though. DJ Prop says he took under 229, but I see the total is moving up. Weird move with the injury report. Yeah, I'll wait until the dust settles and clears. I want to see if Bam's going to play. Without Bam, I think the offense is going to be, even worse in my opinion, especially without Jovic being there. They are absolutely sorry. J. Dot likes Hero over his assists as well. Jovic is done for a while. I think, like, what was his injury? I think it's like I know he's out for this game. It was like, was it a hand injury or a leg injury? Fractured hand? Yeah, fractured hand. You fracture your hand, you're not about to play for the next few games. So yeah, I'm expecting him not to be there. Hero under his points. I would actually probably be thinking Hero has a bounce back game. I know he just had 11, but nobody on the Heat defense really scares me for real. Not on the individual level. Nelly says I'm on the Heat and on the three-point shot contest winner Tyler Hero over his threes. I'm not playing the Heat, but best of luck, Nelly. Hawks money line, run it back. She says, I think that's the way I would kind of look too, man. Jason says under or if Ware points and rebounds over. That makes a lot of sense. We talked about that in the last game as well. Hawks money line, trade points and assists. Yeah, they are very weird, man. I'm starting to not like the Suns. They kept me from a sweep last night, but it is what it is. Is there a game that y'all want to talk about? Like, we could go through like one more game real quick, but I'll just give you some preliminary thoughts on some of these other games. OKC, Brooklyn, probably just a look towards Brooklyn team total to go under, maybe a first half under as well. OKC should dominate that game. The Brooklyn Nets will be without Nicholas Claxton, so they don't really have a true center. He's been suspended for a game. Cam Johnson is listed as questionable. He probably won't play. D'Lo's already been ruled out. OKC coming off 2 back-to-back non-covers. They just lost in a game, probably going to be really frustrated losing that game the way that they did to Minnesota when they had, what was it, a 15-point lead with 2-3 minutes left, something like that. End up going to overtime. I would probably be looking towards an under in that game. Not really wanting to lay points with the Clippers on the road quite yet. I know it's the Bulls, but the Clippers are not that great on the road. No Norman Powell. I know Kawhi's coming back. I don't really want anything to do with that. I know that the Bulls will be potentially without Vucevic. Ayo Dosunmu is also listed as questionable, and Jalen Smith has been ruled out. I don't really I don't really care about the Clippers and the Bulls. I'm sorry, but I don't care. Sacramento, Utah, another game that I just really don't care about. So I'm not like it's just to a point where if I don't care about these games, probably not gonna have a play in them. Sacramento, Utah up to 9. jaXon likes Sacramento to cover that number. We know Utah can be feisty at home, but they will be without Collins. Walker Kessler is questionable. The Jazz, one of those teams, you really just got to wait till 5 minutes before the game to play. You can't play the Jazz games early, and that's my opinion. Lauri Markkanen is out. Jordan Clarkson is back now. It's so much always going on with the injury report for them. Keon Ellis is listed as questionable. Sacramento probably should be able to score. Utah's not a great transition defense, but I can't lay 10 points with the Kings at home, let alone on the road. So that's my thought process on that game. As far as the last game goes, I didn't make a graphic for it, but the San Antonio and the Houston game, if I'm playing that one, it's a look towards it. Shout out to my guy Dream. If you're watching Dream, I am gonna hit you back. I was just kind of scrambling for time this morning, so I didn't get a chance to respond. Dream hit me and was like, "Yo, Chris, San Antonio is on the step playing the 5th game in 7 nights." He said, as soon as I saw that, I immediately thought about you, and I think it's a San Antonio team total under. You like it, and I was like, "Dang, we played 5th game in 7 nights already." That was my first reaction, and I looked into it, and yeah, we have. This is the 5th game in 7 nights for the San Antonio Spurs today against the Houston Rockets. Now, if you remember what we talked about with the Houston Rockets in that last game, not yesterday, because I did like the Bucks, and I didn't play the Bucks, but I did like the Bucks. You remember we talked about the Rockets the other day when they had no rest and they had to travel to Utah and they lost the game outright. That game ended up going over the total, but they're still 9-4 to the under. And I talked about their defense typically playing a lot better. And their defense did not play well against the Jazz, but the Spurs offense is not what it used to be without Victor Wembanyama. San Antonio lost that game last night, even though they got out to a big lead in that game. So I say all that to say I do like the San Antonio Spurs team total under 108.5 in this game. The Rockets have held 4 of their last 5 opponents under their team total playing their second leg of a back-to-back. None of those teams have scored more than 109 points. Except the Utah Jazz, and that was with the Rockets having to travel. the Rockets ended up ruling a couple players out. So we'll see if that happens again. But real quick, let's just look at the Spurs offense real quick. Since without Victor Wembanyama, I think it's been about 5 games now. And also, it's just a fade. Like, you run out of gas on the second leg of a back-to-back. Offensively, they have a 105.4 offensive rating. That is the third worst in the NBA over the last 5 games. So I do think Houston should be able to play some defense. They don't have to travel in this game. And I will be looking towards an under in this game. San Antonio offense, if you can't score against the Pelicans, best of luck to you, man. Best of luck to you is what I got to say about that game. So San Antonio team total under. I'm not sure if I added it to the short list. There's a little bit more digging I want to do before I make it an official play, but that's the way that I'm thinking about that game. San Antonio team total under. They just scored 103 against the New Orleans Pelicans, and before that, they scored 96 against the Pelicans. Good luck scoring against the Rockets. So that's my thought process on that game, and probably one of the plays that I actually like the most, just off the preliminary way that I think about the game. I did have that added to the short list. So let's go. I'll go through the comments real quick, just see if anybody talking about these games, and then we'll get into a quick recap. Already been on here for longer than I thought I was going to be. Let's see. Dyson Daniels rebounds and assists for Scott. LJ says, if you get to OKC, can we look up OKC double-digit favorites off a loss with rest versus teams below 500? So I'll just look this up for my guy LJ real quick. So we're looking at the Thunder laying double digits off a loss, and they have rest. Thunder are 4-1 straight up. 4-1 straight up, 3-2 against the spread, LJ. 4-1 to the over when they are a double-digit favorite coming off a loss with at least one day's rest. 4 straight overs. They lost to the Spurs at the beginning of the season, 104 to 110. They beat the Jazz by 27. They beat the Nets by 26, and that's who they playing. They beat the Nets by 26. They beat the Trailblazers by 10. They were laying 14. And then they just beat the Jazz by 23. They were laying 15.5. So there you go. They're plus 14 overall in this, plus 16, overall in this spot with the line at 17. So I probably look towards their team total to go over is the way that I would look in this matchup here. So that's that. Let's see. OKC minus 17 seems so free today. Kind of agree with that, DJ. They should get Chet Holmgren back, so defense should be anchored. They should be locked in. Not expecting the Brooklyn Nets to be able to hit threes the way that the Minnesota Timberwolves have over the last couple games. Spurs and Rockets just went over that one. Never use it. It'd be an under on the team total for me. Pacers game, I'm skipping Thomas because I'm not playing the injury report game, man. Like, I'm not racking my brain around it. TJ McConnell is questionable. Halliburton is listed as questionable. Toronto, second leg of a back-to-back. Does Jakob Poeltl play? Does Toronto rest other players? Like, I'm done trying to figure all that stuff out. If I get the information, I'll handicap the game then. And if I see it in enough time, I'm not playing them games with the NBA, man. I have no idea. No idea. Yeah, I'm with you, Mark. Light NBA day today. Rockets team total over for DJ props. I did see that Amin Thompson got ejected. What up, G421? Says I'm not liking the Spurs last games at all. Fully agree with you, Chris. You know, the funny thing about the Spurs, I'll just say this real quick and then we'll get ready to get off here. I don't think it's too many more questions. Comments. This is how it works when I bet, right? So I take the Spurs, and I've been profitable. Like, the last couple weeks have been profitable. I just always hate losing because I feel like I'm on the right side when I lose. But I take the Suns against the Spurs. The Spurs win the game outright. The Spurs haven't covered a game since. They got smoked by Detroit, lost back-to-back to the Pelicans. All of a sudden, they can't cover a spread. And then same thing for the Suns. I take the Suns. They lose to the Spurs. Then they can't cover a game. I fade them last night, and then they cover. just hate to see it, man. I digress though. This is y'all not on here to hear me vent, but and I had a good night last night. I really hate losing. Taylor says he likes Zubac over his 15.5 points. That makes a lot of sense. The Bulls don't have a center. He says they allow the 30th most points in the restricted area. Zubac scores 65% of his points down there on the road versus teams that are bottom 10 or bottom 11 or worse. He's over in 6 of his 8 games. I thought so. I like that a lot, Taylor. Like that a lot as well. I like that a lot. Okay, I like it. I don't know if Damian Lillard was under his assist, but Taylor had a really good look on Damian Lillard under his assist yesterday. I like that play a lot. I didn't even go back and check and see if it cashed. But yeah, this is what I'm liking for today. Denny Avdia up and over his points, rebounds, and assists at 27, 28.5. The Boston and Detroit under 226 if all of the players get ruled in for Boston. Philly, they haven't scored 112 points in quite a long time. I think the Knicks, I hate all the ifs, if Porzingis plays. And then San Antonio, I do like their team total under a lot. Under 108.5, I think makes the most sense. And that number probably is going to change. So that might be the one that I end up locking in. Like I said, shout out to my guy Dream for even throwing me that one. I hadn't even looked into the game quite yet. And you can get the Spurs team total actually at 109.5. I'm not putting a 108 up here if I can get a 109. Let's change this to 109.5. 109 is available on a lot of books right now. Bet365 and FanDuel and BetMGM all got it at 109.5. So that would be the way that I would be looking in this game, is an under 109.5 team total. And it's be another light day for me today in the NBA. Not betting a lot. 4 plays yesterday was the most I played in quite a while. Resources are here as always. Shout out to you guys for taking the time out of your day to listen to me ramble about NBA betting. I do appreciate you all. I will be live at 4 p.m. with Cal. Check the resources out. Like I said, go back just to reiterate jaXon. jaXon has, if you never tried jaXon out because you don't have the funds to pay for it, or you just frugal and don't want to use it because you don't think it works, or whatever the case might be, you get 5 free prompts with jaXon now. jaXon 2.0 is out, so check out jaXon if you're interested. Referral code is in the description of the video. Referral link is in the description of the video. Outlier 7-day free trial. Moneyball at 50% off using the promo code ChrisBeCappinn as well. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys today, man. Enjoy your Wednesday, and I will catch you all in the next one. I'm out.